Hello there, and welcome to Gina Gardiner and Friends. I'm Gina Gardiner, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to welcome Jana Green to you. What a lady. She's one of the top UK success and manifesting coaches, and she works with people all around the world. And today we're going to be talking about how you can manifest success, whatever success means to you. Jana.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. I love doing these. It's such fun.
Oh, brilliant. You know, many people will have watched or listened to The Secret or read the book and have some idea about manifesting. And maybe you've felt that it's something that, happens in films, but not in reality. And yet you help people manifest success. So tell us, how did you get into this?
Oh, it was very interesting. I was always interested on, I wanted to know everything about the brain. And I figured out how the brain works. And then I figured out how the physics and the quantum physics works. And I put a neuroscience, which is all about brain, and quantum physics together. And I started teaching that. And only later on, I heard that it's called manifesting. So I was doing it long before it was very fashionable to do manifesting, because that's actually how the brain works and how the physics work. So this is a system which runs the whole world. And, I almost feel that it's a duty to know the system. I actually heard that it's a sin not to know how to manifest. So, it has to be done, and it works fantastically. Absolutely love it.
There are so many people who are at the moment struggling, who are finding life difficult in their relationships, in their job, in their money. And, being able to manifest the things that you want and the things that will make your life and other people around you better seems to me very important. So what are the principles of manifesting?
Well, the true secret of how to manifest fast is to be the person who already has what you want. And that must sound very strange to lots of people, but that's exactly how it is. It's not that we're gonna be happy once we receive the money, once we have our dear partner, once we get something. No, you have to get happy before you receive it. And that's the whole secret of life. And people who don't understand this and don't make it happen, their chance of getting what they want in life is very small. So the biggest secret is if I want to be a millionaire, I have to feel like I already have the money. I already can pay bills easily. I already behave like one, which means when I get a bill, I'm not gonna, I got a bill. How am I gonna pay it? No, I pay it with grace. And I say, thank you. I'm so proud that I make enough money to pay my bills.
It's an interesting concept, and I would like to just take a step back, because there's a lot here, and it's so important. You were talking about, I need to be happy before I get there. And I've noticed with many of the clients that I work with that they suffer from the I'll be happy when syndrome. I'll be happy when I've got the big house and I've got the perfect job and my kids don't need to be nagged to sort their bedrooms out, and I'll be happy when I've got this and this and this, and it's always in the future. And as soon as they achieve it, they add more things to the list rather than I choose to be happy now.
Exactly. I just want to make sure everyone understands we were born to want more. We are never satisfied. We're happy when we're expanding. We are not happy when we are contracting. We are happy when we are expanding. So to have a goal, accomplish it, we always want new things. That's healthy. That's a healthy thinking. However, to get to that place where you can have all the things you want is you have to be happy with who you are. You have to have amazing self-love. You have to get rid of fear. You have to get rid of doubts. You have to get rid of worry. You have to know that you deserve everything you want, and it's your birthright to have it. And you need to believe that there's a way to it. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know when. But you need to know that there's a way to everything you ever imagined. And that's it.
You know, listening to you, and I absolutely agree with you. You know, I think there are many people who are listening to this program and thinking, well, it's all right for her. She knows what she's doing, but I've got bills and I've had a row with my partner and, you know, the kids aren't doing well at school and. What would you say to them?
You think I haven't been there? I've done it all.
Okay.
But I worked hard on myself every day,
I'm going to stop you. I'm
non-stop.
going to stop you because I think that the key is there. You said, I worked hard on myself.
Yes.
And for me, it's
Yes.
all about doing the inner work. It's actually comes back to what you were saying before, the self-love.
I had to learn how to love myself. I have to learn that no matter how my parents damaged me, that I'm not damaged goods, that I am worth it, that I can have anything I want. And I deserve it just because I was born, not because I'm a brilliant mind and I saved people's lives literally. No, just because I was born. That's good enough. And that I came here to be happy. I didn't come here to suffer. And when you realize those things and you get rid of all your traumas, which is what I do with clients, when you get rid of traumas and the traumas they don't know they have, when you get rid of the negative beliefs, when you start loving yourself and you start respecting yourself, which means you do not put up with things you know are wrong, and you start loving life, and you are, like me, 98% happy. There's very little what can throw me off. Drivers on highways, but you know,
We've always got the Achilles.
I'm not that weird, am I? Quite a few of us there. Yeah, but 98% happy. You're supposed to be happy. That's why you came here. And if you're not happy, there's something not quite right in what you're thinking and what you're doing. And when you change that, which you can, you have the power to change anything. You have the power to change your DNA with your thoughts. When you change that, you will become who you were born, because babies are born happy.
They certainly are. Jana and I are talking about manifesting success. And earlier on in the program, Jana talked about that if you want to be a millionaire, you need to act like a millionaire. Now, I want to make something very clear, and you tell me if I'm right, because I'm sure there are people who are listening to this who think, well, I'll go to the shop and I'll use my credit card and I will behave like a millionaire and I'll buy everything I want and live on champagne. Wouldn't that be nice? That's not at all what you mean, is it?
You know what? Very funny. It never caught my mind. It never caught my mind that it could be disinterpreted this way, but well done. I have another material for lots of videos now. Thank you for that. No, not at all what I mean. It's not in doing, it's in thinking. You think as a millionaire, which means, can I afford to buy a Mercedes? Yes, of course I can. Don't want to right now, but yeah, I can. Can I buy a £5 million house? Of course I can. I don't want to right now, but I can. Can I pay the bills? Oh, of course I can pay the bills. It's not a biggie. I'll pay it and I'll smile while doing it. Despite circumstances, despite me struggling with money at the moment, I have to convince my brain that I have enough money and it's easy for me to pay whatever I want to pay. And when I manage that, because the brain doesn't understand the difference between something real and something made up, when I convince the brain that it's easy for me to pay all of this, and the brain will get an idea that if it's easy, I must be rich, it will put me into situations which will make me rich. That's how it works.
You know, I can remember I've done a lot of work on myself, and particularly around money. I think money very often is we've got so many beliefs that our parents install, don't they? You know, you've got to really work hard to gain money, and there's lots of people in the world that can demonstrate that that's not actually the truth. That, you know, money's evil. Who said that money is the source of all evil? And so many people have hang-ups around.
I was just, you know what? I just had several experiences. I was just talking about it. I have my best friend is a billionaire. It's the nicest person I have ever met. If I ever needed anything, I'll get it in a split second. He picks up my phones in 1 second, no longer every single time. He is kind, he's considerate, he's helpful, he thinks nicely of nice people, he will do anything for anyone. And just this week, I had interaction with someone who has hundreds of millions. Couldn't be a nicer person. Yes, of course, there's a law of polarity. There's good and bad things all at the same time. So there will be bad billionaires and lovely billionaires.
Yes.
But why do you focus on the bad ones? How helpful is that? It isn't at all, is it?
And I think sometimes people focus on that because in some weird way it makes them feel better because they've got nothing.
It gives them excuse for not
Absolutely.
getting what they want. It gives them excuse because they think that the way to it is extremely hard and they couldn't make it. So we're all looking for alibi, aren't we?
Yes.
We're all looking for excuses how not to do something, and this is one of them.
It strikes me, you know, that so often we focus on money because they talk about the best things in life are free. I mean, your relationships, you can have great relationships without money, but when we're talking about money, and I think for so many people, that's the bit of the manifestation that they struggle with. What strikes me is how many people have a particular routine of behavior around money. And so, for example, debt, that they will get into debt because they want stuff without recognizing that in doing so, they worry about debt. And I know there are lots of people who are struggling and say, well, I can't manage without getting into debt. But ultimately, with your the way in which you're talking about that, that if you do the inner work on yourself, then you can have enough. But it strikes me, you talked about paying bills. And one of the things that I started to do, which made a big difference to me, was as I sent the bill, on the back of it, on the back of the envelope, I would put, I'm sending it with love, rather than sending it with fear. And I think those
Exactly.
seemingly small constructs can make a big difference, can't they?
How about I'm grateful I can pay the bill because that means that I have enough money. That means that a company sending me the bill trusts me, that I'm a reasonable, respectful human being and responsible human being who can afford to pay them. Isn't that a much nicer way of thinking about paying bills than, oh, bills? How am I going? Wow, I don't know what to do. I'm just gone. This is horrible. How am I going to do this? And you have to do it, although you feel like this,
Yes.
although you cannot manage at the moment. And this is why actually not many people can manifest. And then they say it doesn't work. It does work, but it's a hard work at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you have to convince yourself, although I cannot pay the bill, I don't know how to. And you have to convince your brain, it's easy for me to pay. And I'm paying it with love. And every penny I spend on paying this bill, I get 3 times more back. And when you convince your brain of this, it will understand that you're wealthy. It will understand that you love money. It will understand that you don't have problem with money. And it'll put you into a situation where you will get the money 3 times back.
You know, it sounds as if it's an impossibility, but I know from experience myself and with working with other people that this really does change the way things work.
Absolutely, absolutely. We know that every time you're grateful, we can scan the brain and we see the changes in brain being grateful makes. And it starts functioning properly, and it will call great things back to you because the brain, of course, sends electromagnetic signals outwards. And what has to happen is that whatever you send out has to come back to you, very often multiplied. So if you're sending thoughts of, I have enough money, I can take care of myself, it's easy to take care of my family, I can buy whatever I want, there is enough money for everyone in this world, I love money, money is my friend. money actually does grow on trees because it's paper or was paper. Yeah. When you send all these signals out by laws of physics, it has to come back to you, very often multiplied. So it depends what you're sending outwards from your brain. So you need to be careful.
It also seems to me that there is something about consistency, and that people will think this, you know, they'll a couple of times and then think it ought to happen instantly, when it's actually got to be heartfelt. It needs to be real. Real in the sense that you convince yourself, those were your words, I think, that
Yeah.
is the reality. And that takes practice. It's a new habit, isn't it? So it takes a while to get into that rhythm.
Absolutely. But the good news is that when you go through this first phase of, I have to think something which seems illogical, but I have to do it, and I'll keep doing it, and I'll keep doing it, and I'll keep doing it until it doesn't seem so difficult. Oh, it doesn't seem so difficult. Actually, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, actually, it makes sense. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And once you're done, once the brain is convinced of your new reality and you created new permanent habits, manifesting is just ridiculously easy. I keep telling everyone that whatever I think about, I manifest as fast as in 1 second, several times a day. And I manifested a big thing, which would be a brand new car, in 10 minutes.
Goodness me.
Because it is instant. It truly is instant. But you have to get rid of all the disbelief and all the, but how and when is it going to happen, and is it possible, and does manifesting really work, and can I really have it, and is it true, and all those fears, doubts, worries. If you have them, you cannot manifest what you want. You will manifest what you don't want.
This is really important for you and for your family and the people that you know, that you understand how you can live a life that is full of abundance. You were really talking about money, Jana, and I think that one of the things that I'd like to do in this last few moments of the show is to consider the other things in life that are not financially based. We were talking about money and the importance of financial abundance, but abundance is so much bigger than that, isn't it? So talk to us at presumably the same principles, whatever you want.
Absolutely. So, of course, I talk about money. I teach how to get healthy, how to regain your health through working with your brain, how to have the ideal body, how to find the ideal partner. And you can do all of that by working with your thoughts and your brain. You don't need to do anything else. You just need to do the inner work. So let's say you want to find an ideal partner. I read